Miss! A cry of alarm rang out just as Zhang Qian was debating whether to chase after Sister Yi Huan. To his shock, Kia Wanyan suddenly collapsed into a dead faint. He rushed forward, but before he could reach her, Lu Jiani slung her over his shoulder and strode towards the warm pavilion. Zhang Qian froze silent for a moment. What did it matter to him? Yan Yao had just been on her way to share the newly made cloud flake pastries from the small kitchen with Kia Wanyan. Seeing her carried back, she hurried after them. What's wrong with Sister Ayan? As soon as Lu Jinyang laid Kia Wanyan on the bed, Yun Yao knelt by the bedside, frowning as she pressed her small lips together to take the older girl's pulse. Her frown deepened. This doesn't make sense as Sister Ayan's pulse is weak, but there are no sign of any abnormal condition. Ziyuan asked urgently Yun Yao, "Do you know how to diagnose illnesses?" It wasn't he that she distrusted the girl, but the children saw meds more interested in eating and playing more serious than anything. Hardly trustworthy at first glance, Yun Yao huffed. I may not be as skilled as my brother, but I won't misdiagnose Sister Ayan's pulse. Then why did Miss suddenly faint? It had been so sudden. One moment she was fine, the next unconscious. I don't know. Yun Yao hung her head, guilt washing over her. She should have studied harder with her brother. It was all her fault. The more she thought about it, the more tears welled in her almond-shaped eyes. Falling steadily, Ziyuan declared, "I'll go fetch Physician Liu." He was Yangzhe's most renowned doctor. Sure lie he could save Miss. About 2 cups of tea later, the elderly physician Liu stumbled along, dragged by Ziyuan. "Oof, girl, slow down. You're tearing this old man apart." Ziyuan was too angsty to heed him, seeing his slow, shuffling pace. She gritted her teeth and swept the 50-something doctor into her arms, sprinting towards the warm pavilion. Good heavens, Physician Liu's eyes bulged. Zhang Qian, standing in the wind corner, was equally stunned. Was she kidnapping the old man? Wait, that was the doctor who had treated him the other day. Was Kia Wanyan seriously injured? Zhang Qian's expression shifted as he followed quickly. He had to see if Kia Wanyan was dying. If she was, it would be cause for celebration. When Physician Liu was finally set down, his bones felt thoroughly rattled. "Girl, you ray as strong as an ox. What brute strength?" Yun Yao pushed him to the bedside. "Doctor, please check Sister Ayan. She fainted all of a sudden." Physician Liu quickly knelt to take the pulse, his expression mirroring Yan Yao's earlier confusion. "Well, doctor, how is she?" Lu Jiani glanced at the shadow of someone dropping by the window but could end. T spare a thought for it now. If Kia Wanyan died, he dismembered her before he himself perished. Strange as second misses. Pulse is perfect, lie normal. Ziyuan's heart sank. She suddenly reporters misread once, saying she couldn't kill Kiao Yihuan. Was this sudden fainting, with no apparent cause, related to hurting Kiao Yihuan earlier? The more Ziyuan thought about it, the more terrified she became, her eyes flickering with panic. Lu Jiani noted her strange demeanor but quietly looked away. Physician Liu suggested, perhaps let second Miss rest for the night. She might wake up tomorrow. Yun Yao nodded. That's the only choice. If she does end Timprove, I'll fetch my brother. I'll definite figure it out. Curious Physician Liu asked, who is your brother's master? Is he from Yangzhou? Yun Yao lifted her chin proudly. My brother is amazing. I'd scare you if I told you, so I won't. Physician Liu thought. Asterisk, these young girls get strangers by the day. Asterisk. Oh, by the way, could you show me where my daughter is staying? Ziwan I brought her some things. Earlier that day, the mansion stewards had suddenly suggested keeping his daughter in the mansion in case second Miss needs immediate care, claiming it would be more convenient between women out. He had agreed without hesitation. If Yan Ran impressed Old Master Jin and Arcane the mansion's physicians, it would be a lifelong secure job. Being a physician at Jin Mansion was quite an honor. Ziwan kept her expression neutral. Just give the things to me. Physician Liu, Miss Yan Ran, ate something bad at dusk, took some medicine, and fell asleep. I'll give them too. Her tomorrow to avoid disturbing her. Physician Liu nodded. Fair enough. His daughter had indeed been prone to eating odd things lately, as if she'd never tasted good food before. The Jin Mansion squeezin was undoubted lie. Exquisite or no doubt the girl had indulged Ed too much. Meanwhile, though Kia Wanyan slept, she could still hear everything around her. She found herself in the desolate void, surrounded by a swirling mist of black and white that wouldn't disperse. This is the price of your recklessness. It was the mist speaking, over and over. That eerily genderless voice echoed Ed in her ears. If I had a voice like that, I'd bash my head against a wall and die. How dare you speak to me? The mist paused noticeably. Was that really her focus right now? Moments later, the cynical voice returned. This is the price of your recklessness. Kia Wanyan remained calm. So you were saying my sudden fainting, while still hearing everything, is the price for hurting Kia Yihuan? The mist did not answer directly, as supporting. Role should know its place. Recklessness will only lead to consequences. If you refuse to listen, you'll fall into longer and longer sleeps until you never wake again. Kia Wanyan's composed. The expression finally flickered. Satisfied with her reaction, the mist intoned, "This is your destiny." Destiny, she scoffed. Kia Yihuan is destined to be a perfect red flowers. Well, I'm just the supporting role to set her off. But I've never believed in destiny. The mist's Siri voice returned. Kiao, Yihuan is a daughter of heaven's will. Protected by its aura, she is gentle, kind, and virtuous, repaying even the greatest grieving advances with kindness. Such a person is destined for a happy, fulfilling life and the best possible endings. Kia Wanyan paused, then smiled mockingly, gentle and kind, repaying evil with good. Every human has a dark side, as you say. She has all these perfect virtues. But what if she were vicious as me? Would this heathen swill? You speak of still favoring her? The mist suddenly froze, falling silent. Kia Wanyan's smile grew wider. She had hit the mark. After a long pause, the mist snapped. You will never surpass her. It sounded almost petulant, unfazed. Kia Wanyan merely smiled and said, "We'll see." Clearly the mist was fuming. In the late night, Kia Wanyan suddenly woke. Ziwan, who hadn't slept, kept the pavilion brightly lit. As she guarded the bedside, "Miss, are you all right? You scared this servant half to death." Ziwan wept, her voice trembling with anxiety. But why was Miss smiling upon waking? Had she lost her mind? She held up a finger. "Miss, how many fingers am I holding up?" Kia Wanyan, "I'm fine now." Ziwan cried tears of joy. "You fainted suddenly, and even Physician Liu couldn't diagnose you. You have no idea how terrifying it was. How can you still smile?" Kia Wanyan beckoned her closer, gently stroking her head. "Naturally, because I learned something worth celebrating." Ziwan tilted her head confused. "Miss, don't try to comfort me, but I did your fainting have something to do with Kiao Yihuan? You once said you couldn't kill her, and I thought you were joking. But But when Miss fainted, she couldn't help but link it to Kiao Yihuan. Kiao Wanyan said, "Bring me a bowl of cheese." Pudding, I'm craving it. Ziyuan nodded and hurried off. Right now, killing Kiao Yihuan was impossible. Just wounding her had caused this unexplained fainting, if that genderless things was telling the truth. Ending up trapped in endless sleep while hearing everything would be worse than death. Kiao Yihuan couldn't touched. But what if she changed? Would Kiao Yihuan remain gentle and kind if she watched everyone who was supposed to love and protect her and abandon her one by one? Kiao Wanyan smiled faintly. Absolutely not. She had already pushed Kiao Wanyan into an aerospace out of impulsive jealousy, and the crown prince hadn't even abandoned her yet. Half a month later, Kiao Wanyan's wounds had sped over as Daeusurial merchants. The Jin family had no shortage of rare medicinal herbs. Piles of herbs were delivered red to the warm pavilion, and her complexion visibly grew rosier. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Palace studying, Heziyu stared down at the memorial in his hand, his handsome and noble features darkening with irritation. Jing Yuan grumbled, "Your Highness, the Emperor is being unjust. A prince who holds military power secretly returns to the capital, gets nothing more than house arrest in his own mansion. What kind of punishment is that? Presumptuous." Heziyu snapped. Jing Yuan immediately knelt. "This servant is wrong to disrespect the Emperor." Heziyu frowned and looked away. "The Emperor has. If he hears such insolence again, you'll be sent to the military camp for proper discipline." Jing Yuan bowed. "Yes, Your Highness." Jing Yuan felt genuinely sorry for the crown prince, who had never been favored by the Emperor. No doubt, influenced by the frosty relationship between the Emperor and the Empress. He had heard from elders Lai palace servants that the Emperor and Prince Jing's birth mother had been childhood sweethearts. Due to her family status, she could only become a side consort, later promoted to imperial concubine. After the Emperor's ascension, the Emperor and Empress had initially been on good terms, but their relationship froze after the Empress allegedly plotted to make the concubine died in childbirth. As the concubine's son, Prince Jing had always been doted on. If not for the concubine's family scandals, the Eastern Palace might belong to him today. Despite losing the crown prince title due to his maternal family's disgrace, he had been granted military power and a title in Beiming City. Now, his unauthorized return to the capital resulted in mere house arrest, hardly a punishment. Could anyone blame Jing Yuan for calling the emperor biased? The crown prince had led the hand. Qingzhou refugee crisis flawless lie. Yet he was rebuked by the emperor for Kiao Wanyan's the act of sending grain and risking her life to block an arrow for him. Merits and demerits canceled out, with no reward and a pupizit scolding to boot. Jing Yuan felt deeply for his lord. A frosty aura emanated from Heziyu's noble features. After a long moment, he composed himself. Jing Yuan, prepare some gifts to visit Yi Huan's mother. Jing Yuan nodded. Even in such a foul mood, the crown prince still thought of caring for Miss Kiao's mother. If only the young lady were in the capital to comfort him. Just then, a servant entered to report, "Your Highness, the Empress requests your immediate presence at the palace. Asterisk, asterisk, royal studies, asterisk, asterisk, Your Majesty. The Empress has summoned the Crown Prince to Cunning Palace," reported a servant. Emperor Zhao toyed with a pigeon's blood ruby, his expression stern yet calm, exceeding unintimidating, or without apparent anger. The entire capital is bootsying about young Kiao, saving the crown prince and nearly dying. That old Fox Jin Jingtian intends to use this life debt to push for a marriage. He said, Su Xiao bowed slightly. Your Majesty, sensate, is unparalleled. No scheme escapes your notice. The emperor polished the ruby until it shone and placed it in a box. She is a noble lady with royal merchant grandfather. By all accounts, she would make an excellent crown princess. However, Su Xiao offered a cup of tea. Your Majesty, please have some tea. Emperor Zhao Heng continued. But Yanli also favors that girl. He took a sip of tea. This puts me in a dilemma. Prince Jing, Su Xiao feigned confusion. Surely not, by all rights. Prince Jing should low at the second miss. The entire capital knows how call. Certainly she severed ties with him. The prince had nearly killed himself over her rejection, spending 3 years in debauchery at the National Temple before the emperor forced him to Beiming City. How could he still care? The emperor Chuck led with his temperament. If he truly hated someone, that girl would have died 4 years ago. He simply couldn't bear to part with her. Did his fierce facade fool anyone? He rushed back as soon as he heard she was injured and missing. As his father, didn't he know better? When they were children, if anyone so much as touched Ed Kiao Wan Yanshan, Yanli would beat them half to death, then sneak out of the palace at night to finish the job. He'd even repeated the attack once they recovered Su Xiao, a lifelong palace servant who'd never known love after a past injury, couldn't fathom such devotion. Why was Prince Jing so obsessed with Kia Wanyan? Your Majesty, with all the court gossip, Prince Jing's sleeny NT punishment for unauthorized return might invite criticism. Su Xiao dared not respond, but his meaning was clear. The emperor's favoritism was blatant. Emperor Sao laughed. I am as sovereign with real power, not a puppet like those in previous dynasties, controlled by the cabinet. For the only son of my being loved, I will protect him no matter how reckless he is. This was the fruit of his deepest love for Huer. No matter how outrageous his son acted, he remained his dearest child. The emperor handed Su Xiao a paperwood box. Deliver this to the imperial mausoleum. Huer loved pigeons' blood rubies most. She'll cherish this. Su Xiao, accustomed to such orders, accepted it. Yes, your Majesty. Asterisk, asterisk, cunning palace, asterisk, asterisk. Your servant greets Empress Mother. He vu bowed. The Empress nodded coolly. Sit. My son, no need for formalities. As he seated himself, he said, I was planning to visit you. Mother, I have a favor to ask. The Empress tensed. Asterisk, please don't let this be about marrying that ill-gifted girl as crown princess. Asterisk. Heezy, you stood again. Second Miss Kiao suffered severe shoulder injuries, saving me. I feel deeply guilty, though her life is out of danger. She will bear scars. I request that mother bestowed the Wang Yan Jade ointment, so I may give it to her. The Empress fell silent, stunned that her sick son would make such a request. In the past, he'd refused to speak to other women for the sake of that illegitimate girl. This was all come change, of course. My son, I will grant this immediately, she said, finally smiling. The capital is abuzz about Miss Second Joe falling off a cliffs to save you. A life debt is significant, while your status as crown prince makes her sacrifice an honor. You must not give the censored cause to accuse you of ingratitude. Heezy, you nodded. I understand. When Second Miss recovering and returns to the capital, I will send my personal carriage to fetch her and pay my respects. This way, Yi Huan could return with her and be more comfortable. The Empress frowned. Was that what he took from her words? Was he feigning ignorance again? You know why I summoned you today? She snapped. He/she lowered his eyes silent. The Empress pressed. The Kiao family has shown you grace. Marry there. Legitimate daughter. It benefits all. Mother, you know who it loves. Must be a. Life debts are repaid with marriage? There are many ways to show gratitude. The Empress slammed at her tea. Cups to the floor. Gratitude? As crown prince, others should feel honored to die for you. I want you to marry the four. Most noble lady in the capital. Kia Wanyan excelled in beauty talent and status, though she might be spoiled. Her temperament could be refined. Her tone soft and dead. You need not dote on her. Just secure her position as your consort. If you must have that illegitimate girl, I'll allow her as a concubine. A side consort would require careful selection, but even a concubine was too good for that girl. Ray called Kia Wanyan in the thatched hut. He'd seen her shoulders and felt responsible, but she'd begged him to keep their encounters secret, burying it at the cliff's bottom. He owed her greatly, but he couldn't let innocent Yi Huan suffered for his debt. His parents' marriage was a tragedy. He only wanted to marry the woman he loved, give her all his affection, and avoid repeating their mistakes, especially having a child unloved by its father. I refuse. Mothership reminded Yi Huan I would marry only her. Presumptuous, the Empress stood, furious, as crown prince. How can you cling to such absurd fantasies of monogamy? Do you want your father to depose you? Even though the cursed concubine was dead, her son still threatened her own children's position. Why couldn't he see the urgency? Kia Wanyan's father, the head of the civil bureaucracy, would be a powerful ally. How could he be? Are witches ed by that illegitimate girl? She used expression hardened, but he refused to yield. If I cannot marry Yi Huan, being crown prince holds no meaning for me. Asterisk asterisk Kia Wanyan, asterisk 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 her. I only plan to marry the crown prince. You're lost if you quit. Asterisk. In the Jin Mansion's warm pavilion, Ziyuan placed a plate of osmanthus cakes before Yun Yao, who happily popped one into her mouth. Sister Ayan Zhang Qian is so annoying. I was playing on the swing in the backyard, and he stole it from me. Yun Yao pouted. Kia Wanyan raised an eyebrow. He's still here? Ziyuan nodded. Yes, the young lord has been demanding the best of everything. And old master indulges him. He's as comfortable as if he were at home. Kia Wanyan toyed with a jade roller on her cheeks. Grandfather finds him amusing, like 8-bit monkey, but he stayed here for free long enough. We should charge him tuition fees. How much do you think, miss? Ziyuan asked, ready to demand payment and recover some of the costs. Miss had sold her Qingzhou shops to buy high-priced grain for the refugees. Those shops had funded her luxuries for centuries. If they could squeeze some silver from the young lord, it would ease her finances. Kia Wanyan considered. HMM the let. S starts with 100 taels of gold. Are you broke? Zhang Qiyan appeared at the door. So what if I've stayed here a while? Do you think I am here for fun? I saved your life. Zhang Qiyan was furious. How could someone being so cold and ungrateful? Not only did she not appreciate her savior, but she was now demanding payment. Unbelievable. Sister Yi Huan would never act like this. If not for his internal injuries, he would have chased after her to the capital by now. She was like light already there. Yun Yao leaned against her chair, hugging the cake plate and watching the drama with a tilted head. Kia Wanyan replied calmly. Have you thanked me yet, Zhang Qian? Wait asterisk he asterisk saved asterisk her asterisk. Why should asterisk he asterisk thank asterisk her asterisk? Was that even reasonable? PFFT tilde Yan Yaokant. Help laughing, Sister Ayan. You Ray amazing at provoking idiots. I want to learn from you. Jong Kian turned red with anger. Just then a maid rushed in. Miss, someone from the capital is here. They say it's surgeons. Moments later, a woman in her 30s entered, glancing at the rooms. Occupants before curtsying. Your servant greets young lord and second miss. Kiao, I am sent by the crown prince to deliver Wang Yan jade ointment to second miss. Zhang Qiyun frowned. The crown prince had actually sent it, and so quickly? Was he not worried about Sister Yi Huan's reaction? Kiao Wanyan smiled and motioned Zi Yuan to accept the package. I am deeply honored by His Highness' kindness, she said. The woman added, His Highness is well aware of your sacrifice. He hope you recover soon and looks forward to personally thanking you upon your return to the capital. Zi Yuan handed the woman a gold ingot. Yuvi had a long journey. Sister, please take this as a token of ours gratitude. It's late, stay the night and departing tomorrow. The woman weighed the gold secretly, impressed by second Miss Zhou's generosity. As the sole heir of the royal merchants, she certainly lived up to her status. Thank you. But Imis returned to the capital, promptly to report. She said, in truth, the crown prince had argued with the empress and failed to take the ointment. The empress had instead sent it under his name the next day, hence her urgent mission. Zi Yuan escorted the woman out politely. As they left, the woman spotted a pale, delicate young woman in the distance maintaining ass meal. She greeted Miss Zhou, though her master dislike the illegitimate daughter. She knew to maintain appearances. Kiao Yihuan, unaware of the women's identities, and assuming she served Kiao Wanyan, responded with coldness. Staring silently without a word, the woman nodded calmly and followed Ziyuan, thinking, she is indeed no match for second Miss Zhou. Mishearing Zhou. Zhang Qiyan rushed out and saw Yu Yan, supporting Ran Kiao Yuan approaching. Sister Yuan, he exclaimed. It thought, you went back to the capital. Why are you still here? You look pale. Are you unwell? Kiao Yuan instantly adopted her delicate demeanor. The secret chamber had tortured her physically and mentally. The barbed arrow wounds on her shoulders had left excruciating pain, though countless rare herbs had healed her quickly. The hideous scars made her wish to die. What would His Highness think when he saw them? Would he despise her? Would their marriage suffer because of these scars? The psychological and physical. The toll had left her emaciated. Kiao Wanyan emerged, radiant in a peach-colored dress that highlighted her youthful full beauty, as vibrant as a peach blossom. Fairy, in stark contrast, Kiao Yihuan's disheveled and sickly appearance seemed dull by comparison. Sister lied to you. She went to Huafo Temple to pray for my recovery, Kiao Wanyan said sweetly, taking her hand. Thanks to her devotion, I'm healing quickly. The crown prince just sent Wang Yan jade ointment by express. My scars will vanish soon. Don't worry. Sister, Kiao Yihuan turned ashen, staring at Kiao Wanyan's sprite, smiling before wrenching her hand away. Sister, what's wrong? Kiao Wanyan feigned confusion. Zhang Qiyan was perplexed. This was a sight of Sister Yihuan he'd never seen. Was it because of the jade ointment? Kiao Wanyan suddenly laughed, tears pricking her eyes as her act of the frail sister dissolved. Wiping her eyes, she mocked, oh dear. Sister, too much anger makes you ugly. You weren't exactly able to start with. What? What would happen if you grew even plainer? How will you ever marry? Kiao Yihuanshan's clenched beneath her sleeves. This asterisk-born wicked asterisk creature, Kiao Wanyan, Zhang Qian unconditioned ally stepped in front of Qiao Yihuan to shield her. Stop spouting nonsense. Sister Yihuan is extremely beautiful. No? Less than you. Don't you dare bully her. Qiao Wanyan Fi no exposure of red. Her true nature to Zhang Qian. She had clashed with him over Qiao Yihuan for years. In the past, she rarely saw the crown prince, who seldom attended capital gatherings, so he hardly knew her. But Zhang Qian was different, as he knew her vicious temperament well. But what was a mere young marquis? At best, he would become a marquis someday. She didn't take him seriously. Qiao Wanyan unabashedly sized him up, then clicked her tongue with a sigh. You can fool me, but don't fool yourself. With that, she turned and left gracefully. She was more interested in bathing and trying the ointment than Wang Yan Jade, wasting time with them. Yun Yao stood at the door, holding osmanthus cakes and staring at Qiao Wan. Yan's retreating figures. Half chewed cake lingered in her mouth, forgotten in her shock. Was that really Sister Ayan? As if sensing something, Qiao Wanyan turned toward the pavilion door. Oops, she'd forgotten the little girl. Yun Yao swallowed the cake, locked eyes with Qiao Wanyan for a moment, then suddenly dashed towards her. Her twin buns bobbed cute lie with each step. Sister Ayan, you're so cool. Is this what a legendary villainess looks like? You're fascinating even when being bad. Qiao Wanyan, her damnable charm. After they left, Zhang Qian turned to Qiao Yihuan. Sister Yihuan. Dawn stooped to her level. She's a full-fledged lunatic. Stop being so kind to her. Why waste time praying for her in a temple? In Zhang Qian's mind, Qiao Yihuan was indeed the type to repay evil with good. She was kind, but Qiao Wanyan didn't deserve such kindness. Qiao Yihuan bit her inner lip, hesitating for a long time before staying silent. Her shoulder scars were too hideous to mention. She didn't want anyone to know, but the grievance grew in her heart, misting her eyes as tears fell. Zhang Qian's heart melted, leaving him flustered and unsure how to comfort her. Sister Yihuan, what's wrong? Don't cry, please. For the first time, Qiao Yihuan couldn't control her emotions and broke down, enabled by Airlace, finally having someone to comfort her. Why? Why did Qiao Wanyan always try to steal everything from her? Why had she been born into a loving family? Why, despite being older, was she only an illegitimate daughter? Why had the crown prince sent her asterisk Wang Yan Jade ointment? Why could she humiliate and torture her with impunity? It wasn't fair. In the misty hot spring, Qiao Wanyan bathed in warm water, wearing a sheer underskirt. Her long hair led like a rip. Seductive sirens sin an endless sea. Even a single glances could steal one's soul. Though a girl herself, Yun Yao could enthelp nose bleeding at the sight, starry-eyed with excitement. So asterisk big asterisk. Yun Yao spent ages composing herself, wiping away the blood before approaching the spring. But she slipped, falling uncontrollably into Qiao Wanyan's arms. Water splashed as Yun Yao felt a strange softness against her face. Started lead. She jerked back, only to nosebleed again. At Qiao Wanyan's confused expression, she flopped backwards, floating in the pool in a daze. Softer than anything. Qiao Wanyan blinked, puzzled, asterisk scared of water, asterisk. Half a month later, Qiao Wanyan prepared to return to the capital. Old Master Jin wept and pleaded for her to stay longer, but she wouldn't budge. No bribes or pleas worked. He could only watch her carriage fade away, gazing at the suddenly desolate mansion. He sighed heavily. If only his darlings had children someday. Maybe one could be raised here. Too bad she only wanted to marry the crown prince. He'd never dare oppose that. What was so great about marrying a prince? In his view, she should pick a handsome, dock all men to marry into their families. She could, dotting on him when happy or keeping pretty boys for fun. When bored, how lively that would be, with descendants everywhere. The Jin mansion would thrive. He sighed again. Blame her ambition. She always wanted the best. Zhang Qian and Qiao Yi Huan also departed. At first, Qiao Yi Huan hid in the carriage, but gradually smiled again, thanks to Zhang Qian's efforts. With the next city still distant, they camped in the wilderness that night. Xiao Ying sat in the carriage, watching her miss and young Marquis chatting by the fire, her eyes filled with distress. Her missing had hidden Hideo's shoulder scars yet. Sold the crown prince bracelet to pay for her treatment. How could she have ever thought her missing was vicious? She was deserving of death. Miss had pushed Qiao Wanyan only because she deemed bully Ed endless lie. It was all Qiao Wanyan's fault. After a stick of incense, Qiao Yi returned with Wan. Hot porridge, Xiao Ying. Eat while it's warm. She added quickly, sorry. I forgot. Let me feed you. Touched. Xiao Ying vowed to protect her missing with her life. Xiao Ying. I heard from Qian that there is a divine physician in Yaoshi Valley. Do you think he could remove the scars on my shoulders? Xiao Ying mused. I've heard of him too, a prodigy, the youngest master of medicine. But though everyone knows he's in Yaoshi Valley, few find him. And even if they do, he only treats people on a whim. Qiao Yi Huan looked dejected. Xiao Ying quickly added, but you raise so kind and gentle. Heaven will surely guide you to him. He'll adore you at first sight and heal you without hesitation. Qiao Yi Huan's eyes lit up. Really? Of course. The journey back to the capital was smooth, with evening arrival in sight. Qiao Wanyan ordered the carriage to stop at Audia House. She glanced at Ziyuan, who immediately stood under and announced loudly, "We've all traveled far. Come rest with tea and pastries. Then we'll head straight to the capital for a good night's rest." The escort included not just her personal servants, but also heavily paid elite guards from Old Master Jin, members of the renowned the Mysterious Wind Martial Arts Guild. The guards thanked Qiao Wanyan Pro, fused lie as she barked, "Thank you." Young Miss dot to them. There was no distinction between first miss or second miss. Paid too. Protect Jin's granddaughter. They assumed she was the eldest. Young Miss is so kind-hearted, truly a noble lady. At the capital, generous and humble. Right. I always thought noble ladies were snobby, but young Joe is so approachable. We've escorted before, but never someone this generous. The food and lodgings have been better than at home. Lucky I took this job out, otherwise, I'd never stay in a luxury suite at Fengtian Tower, which costs 10 taels a night. Ziyuan wiped the table, set out a teapot and cups, then fetched hot water from the owner. She poured Ed Qiao Wanyan a cup. Sipping tea, Qiao Wanyan absorbed the flattery. A little money ensured loyalty and diligence, no slack allowed. Money was power. Power was her ultimate goal. Showing off your wealth? Zhang Qian sneered, sitting down and grabbing her teapot to down a cup. Qiao Wanyan raised an eyebrow, her gaze calm and confident. When have ever shown off? Besides beauty status and money, I have nothing. Why pretend about pocket changes? Zhang Qian twitched. How could she say such shameless things with such calm sincerity? But he couldn't refute her dot in beauty. She was the capital's acknowledged first belle. In status, she was the daughter of legitimate, a centuries-old noble family dot in wealth. Her mother was the heir too. The royal merchant fortune. Qiao Wanyan added leisurely. if pocket change seems like showing off to you. Young Marquis of Jing'an. Estate must be very provincial. Zhang Qian, Kiao Wanyan. Just because I didn't that women does N. T mean I can make you beg for mercy. She watched his irritation with amusement. Others fee read this spoiled young lord. But she was intimidated. You look like the type who asterisk would asterisk hit women. When have I ever hit a woman? Ivy never laid a finger on you. Even when you provoked me. Hitting women was beneath him. As his father had taught him, he even looked down on men who bully ed women. Kiao Wanyan shrugged, letting his anger fester. Sometimes silence was the deadliest weapon. While he seethed, she sipped tea calmly, enjoying the show like punching cotton. It wounded the spirit deeply. Are you mute? Speak? She rose to return to the carriage. He followed. I'm talking to you. Lost your voice? She finally spared him a glance. You're noisy. With that, she boarded the carriage. Zhang Qian stared at the door, tempted to split the carriage in two. But it belongs to the Crown Prince. He didn't dare. Kiao Yihuan stayed in the carriage, eager to reach the capital and see the Crown Prince. He must be waiting at the gates. Xiaoying saw her melancholy and knew it. Stem med from Kiao Wanyan's bullying. She'd seen the shoulder scars. Even a destitute scholars would recoil. How could the Crown Prince remains loyal? That which had deliberately wounded her where it was. Hurt most if the prince found out. He'd pity her, but would his love last? Miss anyone who knows Kiao Wanyan hates her. Even young Marquis sees through her. Once the Crown Prince understands, he'll avenge you. Kiao Yihuan said dully, I never wanted to compete with her, but she even fights me for the prince. She'll never let me be. Never gave me hope. Xiaoying ached for her. When she acted friendly, I wanted to be sisters, but it was all an act for the prince. If I can't find the highly skilled doctor, how will I live with these scars? Xiaoying soothed her. We'll find him. I promise. I'll always be by your side. Always support you. Even with a broken arm from Prince Jing. She was alive. And alive she could help. Kiao Yihuan grasped her hand. Tearfully, you'll help me, right? Until I marry the prince? Xiaoying nodded solemnly. Always, but miss. The prince will find out you sold his bracelet for my treatment. What then? Kiao Yihuan replied. You're worth it. Your family. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. Selling the bracelet for a maid's treatment would sure lie move the prince to pity. Her plight in the Jin mansion. He'd never blame her only rage at her mistreatment. The sun dipped westward, painting the sky with a blaze of sunset hues. Gentle, warm rays spilled over the earth, turning the western sky into a gorgeous sea of fire. Dreamlike and surreal. The carriage came to a slow and halt. Kiao Wanyan, seated inside, smiled with satisfaction at her reflection in the bronze mirror, then set it down and stepped out. The capital gates were already under strict guard. News that the Crown Prince had personally come to welcome the missing Kiao family had spread throughout the city. Second Miss Jo had taken an arrow for the Crown Prince and fallen off a cliff, nearly losing her life. By a miracle, she survived and was rescued in time by His Highness. This storybook plot had become the talk of noble circles, with many speculating that the next crown princess would sure lie be the second Miss Jo. She stood with hands behind his back, his jaded-colored brocade robe exuding elegance and nobility. His Inca black hair, tied back with a white jade hairpin, spoke of understated grace. He was like a celestial beings descended from the heavens, standing apart from the mundane world. As Kiao Wanyan exited the carriage, she saw the setting suns. The glow cast a surreal beauty over him. She smiled, and for a moment, everything round-dimmed. "Your Highness!" She extended her hand. He Vu blinked, then reached out to assist her down, captivated by the clear, joyful smile on her face. Noticing his subtle glance towards the carriage interior, Kia Wanyan let a trace of melancholy crosses her features, then quickly replaced it with a smile, sweet and understanding, yet faintly heartbreaking. "How is your wound?" he asked. "It's much better," she nodded. "It's almost healed." There were still faint scars, but Yun Yao had said her brother could remove them completely. As a prodigy physician, he sure Lai had that ability. She'd visit him after handling her current affairs. He Jiu paused, weighing in jade ointment, He had argued with the Empress that day and hadn't taken the ointment, so it must have been his mother who sent it to Yangju under his name. Seeing his hesitant expression, Kia Wanyan knew what he was thinking. The infatuated crown prince, deeply in love with Kiao Yihuan, would easily change his heart. If he were a heartless man, she wouldn't. They've failed in the novel, but this made him all the more worth conquering. Imagining him shifting his love to her, sinking deeper into infatuation, torn between her true nature and his feelings, yet unable to leave her. Just the thoughts made her fingertips trembled with excitement. Yihuan, Heezy spotted Kiao Yihuan emerging from the following carriage. He wanted to greet her, at stayed put, fearing Kiao Wanyan might feel slighted. Kiao Yihuan felt a twinge of disappointment at his hesitation, but quickly approached him. Days of poor appetite and restless sleep had left. Her injured body was even more frail and sickly. "I pay my respects to your highness." He Jiu gently took her hand. "Yihuan, why do you look so pale? Are you unwell?" Before she could respond, Zhang Qian's voice interjected. She stayed in a temple for days, ending poor conditions to pray for Kiao Wanyan. Then she rushed back, barely eating or sleeping on the journey. Unlike Kiao Wanyan, who rode comfortably in His Highness' carriage, Zhang Qian's tone was acidic. But Kiao Wanyan didn't tread a sharp lie as usual. Sister would they worried so much, invited her to share the carriage. But she refused, saying she didn't want to disturb my rest. Heezy sighed inwardly. Yihuan always puts others first, often neglecting herself. Before Kiao Yihuan could speak, Kiao Wanyan stepped forward to take her hand, shifting the topic smoothly. "Sister, the mansion where your mother lives isn't far from here. After greetings, father and mother, would you like me to accompany you to visit her?" Kiao Yihuan's face paled, seeing the threatening smile on Kiao Wanyan's face as she turned away from the crown prince. She forced down her anger. "Thank you, sister," she gritted out. Heezy was touched to see such harmony between the sisters in many noble households. Even blood sisters schemed against each other, but these two showed genuine affection. Kia Wanyan might be a little spoiled, but she wasn't unkind. Zhang Qiyan was stunned. Who was this person? Was Kia Wanyan possessed? How could she act like this? A breeze rustled, and Kiao Yuan touched her temple. He Vu asked Yihuan, "Why aren't you wearing the bracelet it gave you?" When he'd gifted her the jade bracelet, she'd say she didn't deserve it. Only after his assurance had she vowed never to take it off. Kiao Yuan immediately covered her wrist, shaking her head in panic. It just didn't wear it." Kiao Wanyan observed silently. Anyone could tell she was lying. Her panicked demeanor made her look like a victim, if one didn't better. Shiu's voice softened. "Yihuan, tell me everything. I'll stand by you." Biting her lips, Kiao Yihuan hesitated, then suddenly knelt, though. Heezy quickly stopped her. Your Highness, I dared to sell the jade bracelet you gave me. Please punish me. He see you frown. Why would you sell it? Did you not like it? Or were you short of money? Xiaoying knelt abruptly. Crown Prince, it's all my fault. Miss sold the bracelet to pay for my medical treatment because she had no money in the Jin mansion. This painted a picture of Qiao Yihuan's miserable life in the Jin mansion, forced to sell precious gifts for a servant's medical fees. Even as a Qiao family member, Zhang Qiyan instinctively looked at Qiao Wanyan. Well, she used expression darkened, but Qiao Wanyan and her maid remained calm, as if Qiao Yihuan's suffering had nothing to do with them. Just then, a maid who had accompanied Qiao Yihuan to and from Yangju rushed forward. Miss, you left your bracelet in the carriage. It was the very bracelet Qiao Yihuan claimed to have sold. Qiao Wanyan smiled sweetly. Sister, what a joke. Here's the bracelet. Which one did you sell? Qiao Yihuan felt as if ice had suddenly coursed through her veins. No, she'd sold the bracelet in Aramount pawn shop in Yangju. How could it be in the carriage? She snatched the bracelet and examined it closely, hoping it was just a similar one. But after staring for minutes, she couldn't deny the truth. This was the exact bracelet she'd pawned. How was this possible? Xiaoying secretly glanced at the Crown Prince's face, her heart sinking at his skeptical expression. She turned to SC Old the maid. Nonsense. Miss sold the bracelet in Yangju. How could it be here? Are you trying to frame her with a fake? The maid eyes froze in fear and knelt, shaking her head. I wouldn't dare. Sister Xiaoying, what are you saying? This bracelet has always been with Miss. I put it on her wrist myself. The day we left Yangju, Heian had served Qiao Yihuan for 5 years in the Shangshu estate, quiet and timid, often bullied by other maids, which made Qiao Yihuan trust her. She was the second most trusted after Xiaoying, hence being brought to Yangju. But why was she lying now? Before Qiao Yihuan could speak, He Ji asked, You found this in the carriage just now? Heis nodded, trembling under the Crown Prince's gaze. Yes, Your Highness. I saw a corner of the bracelet beneath the carriage blanket. Knowing it was Miss' most precious POS session, I rushed to return it to it and expect sister. Xiaoying to SC Old me. I don't know what he did wrong. Qiao Wanyan glanced at Ziyuan, who immediately took the cue. First, Miss, how could you hide the bracelet and lie about selling it? People might think the Jin Mansion mistreated you so badly you had to pawn jewelry for a doctor's. Ziyuan, don't talk nonsense. Qiao Wanyan chided. Ziyuan pouted. But it's true. Miss sent first Miss food and gifts every day in the Jin Mansion, and now she's acting like this. Is she jealous that His Highness sent Wang Yan jade, ointment, and a carriage for our Miss? Ziyuan, Qiao Wanyan shot her a look, then turned to He Shiyu. Don't listen to her. Your Highness, she spoiled and speaks without thinking. Sister was just joking. Please don't take it too hard. Yun Yao chimed in, recalling the Jin Mansion. Ziyuan's not wrong. Sister Ayan always prepared 2 portions of everything. 1 for me, 1 for Miss Qiao. You can't be ungrateful. Qiao Yihuan saw the did. She cares about those treats? After being STD abed with barbed arrows and forced to heal with medicinal piles, was she supposed to be grateful? Yun Yao added, I even gained weight from all the snacks. You starved yourself to look pitiful. How fake. You, Qiao Yihuan's temples throbbed. You're lying. Qiao Wanyan inwardly SC off at the weak retort. Lu Jiani watched coldly, in scheming. Who could outplay that madwoman? Sending gifts to Qiao Yihuan in front of Yan Yao meant nothing. How would the girl know? About the torture in the secret chamber? Kia Wanyan smoothly changed the subject. Your Highness hasn't dined yet. Would you honor us with a meal at our mansion? She studied Kiao Yuan's angry, almost feral expression, a stark contrast to her usual demeanor. He was unsure if her story was true, but he knew the bracelet hadn't been sold. It was a unique Southern Liang tribute. He couldn't mistaken. All right, let's go. Your Highness, Kiao Yuan panicked, fearing this detached version of him. If he trusted her, he demanded answers and cleared her name. Xiaoying ached for her. Miss must be extremely wrong Ed to act so desperately. It was a losing battle. Yi Huan, it's late. Let's enter the capital. He Ji said coolly, his tone drained of her strength, gritting her teeth. She seemed to make a resolve. Your Highness, I'm thin and gaunt not by choice. I was serious lie, injured and had no appetite. Kia Wanyan had me saint, abed with 2 barbed arrows and torn open. Everything she does is an act. Dead silence followed. Kia Wanyan froze, then shrank behind He Shiyu, feigning fear, her trembling. The voice was laced with panic. Your Highness, is Sister mad? Kiao Yihuan wanted nothing more than to charge forward and tear off Kiao Wanyan's hypocritical mask. The other girl's delicate, terrified expression made her look like she was truly staring at amid women, terrified by Alunatics. Kiao Wanyan had always been spoiled and willful in the past, acting on whim without ever feigning innocence or weakness, using her harsh temperament and tactics, methods to bully others. His Highness detested such women, so she had never feared Kiao Wanyan stealing him away. But now, she was being driven mad by the torture. Kiao Wanyan's successive schemes had clearly altered His Highness's impression of her. Even now, he was starting to doubt her. Yun Yao grew irritated. Would you ever stop? Woman? How could Sister Ayan do such a thing? Even if she did, it wouldn't without reason. Did you hurt her first? Kiao Yihuan choked on her words. Xiaoying interjected. Our miss is kind-hearted. How could she bully anyone? Everyone knows Kiao Wanyan is vicious and mean. What asterisk wouldn't asterisk she do? Enough. Easy use. Sharp rebuke silenced everyone. He looked at Kiao Yuan's stunned expression, softening his tone slightly, but still not as gentle as before. Yihuan stopped making a scene. Kiao Yihuan froze, her blood turning to ice. Every heartbeat felt like a stab from a sharp blade, leaving her in excruciating pain. He Ji turned to leave, Kiao Wanyan following suit. Zhang Qiyan approached to comfort her in aloe voice. Sister Yihuan, I believe you. Don't be sad. Kiao Yihuan laughed hollowly. Asterisk believe asterisk? His tone was nothing but consolation. No? One trusted her. How had it come to this? The dream had promised all men would love, believe, and defend her. Why was reality so different? It had all come true at first. Kiao Wanyan boarded the carriage and pushed open the window, staring at Kiao Yihuan still standing. In place, a mocking smile curled her lips, as if laughing at the other girls' inability to defend herself, at how no one believed her, even when she told the truth. Ziwan could hardly contain her grin. This was satisfying. Asterisk, finally, asterisk, the tables had turned. Who would have thought Kiao Yihuan would? Rebuked by the crown prince? It was like a festival. Back at the Shangshu estate, Minister Kiao and Lady Jin waited at the gates to welcome them. The crown prince personally greets their daughter was a great honor. Even if they'd been disabled, they'd have crawled out to show off. After a flurry of concern, greetings, and flattery, the group entered the estate. Qiao Yuan watched the harmonious scene ahead of us. Feeling utterly defeated, she stood silently, hoping His Highness would notice her distress, returned to ask what was wrong, and walked by her side. But he did not. He seemed truly unaware of her, walking with hands behind his back as he listened to her father's flattery. Qiao Yuan retreated directly to Mingxiang Pavilion despite the freezing winter weather. No one had lit a fire in her rooms, knowing she was returning. The interior was even colder than outside. Xiao Ying stormed out shouting, "Didn't you know Miss was returning? Why isn't there a fire? It's freezing in here." "What do you servants do all day?" A maid outside rolled her eyes. "Stop yelling. We're sweeping the courtyard. We're not slacking. It's not like the first miss pays our wages. Who are you to scold us?" Xiao Ying tried to retort, but Qiao Yuan pulled her back. "Forget it." Hyde timidly entered. "First miss, I'll light the fire now." Qiao Yuan turned to look at her. Her usual gentle expression is gone. She approached expression less lie. Under Hai's evasive gaze, she slapped her across the face. This shocked not only the servants outside, but also Xiao Ying. It was the first time Miss had ever hit someone. "Why did you say that? Why betrayed me? Where did you get that bracelet?" Hai knelt with a thud. "What are you talking about, Miss? I don't understand." Consumed by rage, Qiao Yuan struck her again, feeling an unfamiliar but satisfying release. 2 slaps see meds 2 ease. The frustration in her heart. No wonder Qiao Wanyan had always liked ditting people, servants, and herself alike. That bracelet was pawned. Where did you get it back? Hai shook her head. "Miss, you wear that bracelet every day. When did you pawn it? You're still lying." Another slap landed. Hai's burst into tears, covering her face and sobbing pitifully. Unable to speak, "Get out and kneel." Hais fled to the courtyard, covering her face as she knelt. Xiao Ying glanced at her. "Don't be angry. Miss, I'll light the fire. Please rest." With one arm, Xiao Ying struggled to move about. She didn't notice when Hais disappeared from the courtyard. ***Xuan Yang Hall ***. Crown Prince, you're too kind. As the Crown Prince, it was my daughter's study to risk her life for you. You've shown too much favor, Minister." Qiao could barely contain his grin. Lady Jin added Yanyan. His Highness specially sent Wang Yan jade, ointment, and a carriage for you. Why not toast him? Qiao Wanyan smiled softly, her cheeks blushing with marashiness. So captivating, it was hard to look away. She rises with a wine cup. "Thank you, Your Highness." He Ji Yu smiled. "You saved me. Why should you thank me?" Lady Qiao, don't trouble Wanyan. Lady Jin's eyes lit up. Had the crown Prince just called Yanyan Wanyan? Just then a servant entered to report. "Master, a maid from Mingxiang Pavilion is here." Minister Qiao wanted to dismiss her, annoyed at during the disruption. Such an important occasion, but refrained with the crown prince present. Let her in. Hais entered with her head bowed. "Master, First Miss is unwell and won't be joining dinner." He noticed her avoiding his gaze. "Raise your head." Hai paused, then slowly lifted her face. The fresh swollen slap marks on her right. The cheeks were clearly visible. Hais returned half an hour later. The door creaked open, letting Achilles into the already cold room. "Qiaoyi." Huan frowned as she sat before the mirror. She watched Hais enter through the mirror, her frown deepening. Xiao Ying said, "You disappeared. Half an hour ago. Where did you go?" For the past half hour, she had been sitting before the mirror, staring at the scars on her shoulders. Horrifying. Wounds that even powder could end. Hide. Not just the crown prince. Even she found them disgusting. She had to go to Yaoshi Valley. to find the highly skilled doctor, but she needed Ed Applin to leave. Her father would never approved a trip to Yao. She Valley, lost in thought. She barely noticed Hai's absence. Hai replied, I went to Zhuan Yang Hall too. Tell master you're unwell, miss. Kiao Yihuan turned to look at her, asking tentatively, did his highness say anything? Hai's answered he only said one thing. What? Kiao Yihuan rose slowly, half expecting an answer. Hai said he told me to raise my head. Kiao Yihuan frowned. What did that mean? Hai was plain and young. The crown prince had never even noticed Abe would like Kiao Wanyan, so he couldn't be interested in her. Could it be? She seemed to realize something. Stepping forward to tilt Hai's chin by candlelight, she saw the slap marks on her cheek and stood under. You Ao Kiao Yihuan snapped. I never told you to go to Zhuanyang Hall. You did this on purpose. A wave of revulsion swept over her. First, Hai had produced the mysterious Pawn Ed bracelet at the city gates. Now, after being ordered to kneel, she gone to Zhuan Yang Hall to show off her injuries. What else could this? Are but deliberate sabotage? She had always thought Hai's was obedient and loyal, if timid. Hai was the only servant besides Xiao Yang, allowed close to her in Mingxiang Pavilion. But now even she had betrayed her. Pointing at Hai's, she demanded, whose spy are you? Lady Jin's or Kia Wanyan's? Sister Slow, can't you guess Banu? Kia Wanyan entered wearing a thick red cape, her stunning face glowing like Aladis in bloom, more radiant than the moon hidden behind clouds. She stepped over the threshold and sat calm in the main seat, smiling at Kiao Yihuan, stately controlled, ferocious expression, unable to hold back. Kiao Wanyan laughed. It's so cold here. Sister, the fire isn't strong enough. I can't feel any warmth. Her own Yongning pavilion had floor heating and warming walls, cozy as spring. She could wear just a thin underskirt and not feel the chill. Kiao Yihuan demanded, when did you bribe her? Has sister finally dropped the act? You used to endure my bullying with meekness. What changed now? Kiao Wanyan pretended to realize. Oh, Iz, you feel threatened? The love of your high status prince is fading, and now you're too angsty to eat or sleep? She sighed mockingly. Sister, learn to admit defeat. Kiao Yihuan said dejectedly. His Highness and I love each other. Our bonds can't be broken by your scheming. You love the crown prince? Sister Kiao Wanyan feigned surprise. Falling in love with Amen is the stupidest state thing you can do. Kiao Yihuan was startled. You don't love him? Of course not. I only love myself. Kiao Wanyan's tone was light, but her words weighed heavily. The one who falls in love loses. How could he offer to lose? Kiao Yihuan thought she was crazy. Love was the most beautiful thing in the world. She loved His Highness with all her heart, and hoped he would love her forever. Only mutual love could lead to a lifelong partnership. Their ideologies were diametrically opposed, each finding the other absurd. Kiao Yihuan suddenly asked, You tampered with the bracelet, didn't you? Kiao Wanyan didn't deny it. Thanks to your loyal maid, I knew your every move. As soon as you pawned Ed the bracelet, the shopkeeper sent it to me. Her grandfather was merchant with Royal. Numerous businesses in Yangzhou, even that obscure pawn shop belongs Ed to the Jin family. Kiao Yihuan glass-red at Hai. Kiao Wanyan added leisure, lie. Don't blame Hai's for servants like her. A single bank note can feed their families for generations. For the poor, money could buy loyalty, crush their pride. When did you bribe her? Kiao Wanyan pretended to think. Probably the day before the crown prince hosted Alchem banquet for Prince Jing. Shortly after reading that novel, she had bribed Heise to report Qi Aoyuan's savvy move. Look at them now, suspicion had finally grown between the pair. While not yet a complete break, every misunderstanding was a step towards it. Accumulated conflicts would erupt eventually. Since she couldn't kill Qi Aoyuan, she would destroy their relationship instead. Qi Aoyuan staggered, nearly falling. Heise had been aspying for so long. Qi Aoyuan's malice knew no bounds, planting a spy to monitor her. Aren't you afraid I'll tell His Highness everything? Our bond is deep. Do you think he won't believe me? Qi Aoyuan smirked, stepping closer until her breath hits Qi Aoyuan. Ear, but aren't you afraid your mother might meet an accident? Qi Aoyuan froze, ice coursing through her veins. Satisfied with her reaction, Qi Aoyuan's smile vanished. Keep your mouth shut and your mother lives. With that, she turned to leave. Qi Aoyuan spun around shouting, aren't you afraid of karma for your vicious deeds? Qi Aoyuan didn't look back. Karma is just consolation for the weak. Qi Aoyuan had hidden in Mingxiang Pavilion for days, refusing to emerge, while the Shangshu estate busted lead with visitors. Second, Miss Zhou's life savings act for the Crown Prince, coupled with the Jin family's generous donation of grain, had greatly pleased the Emperor, who bestowed numerous rewards. Suddenly, all the WD socialites in the capital sent their wives to pay their respects. Ladies who had once looked down on Lady Jin for her merchants, background now fawning over her with forced smiles, as if it were a foregone conclusion that the second Qiao daughter would marry into the Eastern Palace. Lady Jin finally felt vindicated, more convinced than ever that she had birthed at a treasure. The Crown Prince was discussing politics with Minister Qiao in the study when Qi Aoyuan appeared. The servant at the door immediately bowed, greetings, Second Miss. His Excellency is in a meeting with the Crown Prince. Shall I announce your arrival? Qi Aoyuan spoke in a voice just loud enough to be heard inside without sounding deliberate. No need. How could I disturb father and his Highness while they discuss important matters? I'll return later. Is that Yan? Minister Qiao's voice came from within. The servant entered to report, and moments later, Qi Aoyuan was ushered in. Your servant greets the Crown Prince. Yu sat upright in a carved sandalwood chair, his noble bearings like the bright moon in the sky, his face as pure as frost after snow, exuding an air of innate dignity and indifference. As Qi Aoyuan approached, the usually composed Yu softened and slightly rose. Minister Qia swelled with pride at the sight of his youngest daughter, Yan. Did you need something from father? Qi Aoyuan took the seafood box from Ziwan behind her. Father forgot. The doctor said I've been overworking and need rest, along with medicinal soups for conditioning. V brought your medicine and must watch you drink it to be sure you don't secret lie. Pour it out because it's bitter. Her pretend grievance made Minister Qiao chuckle. Apologies, Your Highness. My daughter is overly attentive and filial. She nags me daily about diet and drinking, and somehow I can't stay angry. Heise felt a pang of envy. Such warmth, pure father-child affection was something he would never experience. Raised in a father's love, no wonder Qi Aoyuan was so confident and radiant. He and Yirwan were alike in this way, hence their mutual understanding. Perhaps he had been too harsh that day. Yirwan must be heartbroken. Qi Aoyuan asked timidly, Does your highness like sweet soup? I simmered to bowls myself, one for father and one for him. Would you care to try it if you don't mind? Minister Kiao was puzzled. When had his Yanyan ever cooked? She had never even entered the kitchen, disliking the oil and smoke. But what father would? Exposing his daughter's sweet lies? He-Shiyu nodded and accepted the bowl, noting the perfectly lie-arranged plum blossom on top. A masterpiece of color and artistry. Just then Xiao Ying burst in, ignoring the servant's attempts to stop her. Your Highness. My miss, Xiao Ying panted, unable to finish. He-Shiyu set the sweet soup aside and stood abs. Abruptly, what's wrong with Yi Huan? My miss has attempted suicide. High pupils constricted. Without hesitation, he ordered Xiao Ying to lead the way to Mingxiang Pavilion. Minister Kia was equally shocked. The girl had been staying quietly in her pavilion. Why choose this moment? With the crown prince present to attempt suicide, the study fell silent. Miss, should we go check as well? Kia Wanyan stared at the untouched Ed sweet soup on the table. It seems she scorned red, resorting to suicide as a last act. You mean Kiao Yihuan is faking it? What do we do? His Highness will surely pity her. Won't that harm you, miss? The servant panicked. His Highness had just started warming to Kiao Wanyan. Why was that wretch causing trouble now? Kiao Wanyan remained calm. Why rush? A true here Wan shouldn't seem so. Desperately, she's digging her own grave. One misunderstanding led to suicide attempts. Any man would grow weary of such histrionics. Suicide threats only worked when the man still cared. If he didn't, he'd seen her hanging as a mere annoyance, like a swinging rope blocking his view. Mingxiang Pavilion Hai entered to find Qiaoyi unconscious on Huan. The floor, he rushed forward, gently lifting her onto the bed. He threw his waist token to Jingyuan. Summon Imperial Physician Wang from the Royal Hospital. Jinyuan nodded and dashed off. Hai's expression darkened. Minister Kiao, a seasoned politician, stepped outside to question the kneeling servants. Why did First Miss suddenly collapse? An older maid replied, I don't know, Master. Miss has entailed us to attend her recently, so we've no idea what she's been doing. Another chimed in, yes, Master. She's been in a bad mood and kept us away. We truly don't know why she fainted. Xiao Ying resisted the urge to shout at their lies and turned to the crown prince. Miss has barely eaten since returning from Yangzhou. She's plagued by nightmares at night, waking up crying until dawn. I went to cook porridge for her, and when I returned, I found her unconscious. Hais frowned but said nothing. Xiao Ying secretly studied him, unable to read his thoughts, but she saw worry and guilt in his gaze as he looked at Kiao Yihuan. Shortly after Kiao Wanyan arrived, Jinyuan returned with Imperial Physician Wang, the head of the Royal Hospital. Though over 50, Wang's eyes were sharp. He immediately spotted the modula herbs on the table. He sniffed at the herbs and took Kiao Yihuan's pulse. Your Highness, First Miss Zhou ingested an overdose of modula. Small doses can numb the nerves, but excessive amounts cause poisoning and even death. Numb the nerves? Had Yihuan tried to numb her pain after his harsh words? Can she be saved? Wang sighed. I can revive her for now, but I cannot purge the toxins from her body. If only what? Perhaps the divine physician, Valley of Yaoshi, could help. But no one can confirm if he exists, or if he still resides there.